That looks good to me.
Yeah, if I can do it, it's really good.
I can do most things. I don't know about that, but it's
I went here.
Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for us being a few minutes late. If you would please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The meeting is called to order at 7:10 p.m. by Board President Mrs. Marla Adams. Members present are Mrs. Gunter, Mr. Stroud, Mr. Hanger, excuse me, Mr. Engel, Mr. Freed, and Dr. Hatton. Before we actually adopt the agenda tonight, we have to adopt the 2023 school corporation budget. It is recommended that the board approve the following items for the adoption of the 2023 school budget. 1. Adoption of Form 4, Ordinance Resolution for Appropriations and Tax Rate. May I have a motion to adopt this form?
I'll make the motion.
Motion is made by Mr. Engel. May I have a second? Passes 5-0. 2. Adoption of the resolution to adopt the 2023 capital projects plan. May I have a motion to accept this resolution?
I'll make that motion.
Motion is made by Mrs. Gunter. May I have a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Mr. Stroud. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Item 3, adoption of the resolution to adopt the 2023 school bus replacement plan. May I have a motion to accept this resolution?
I'll make that motion.
Motion is made by Mr. Hanger. May I have a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Mrs. Gunter. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Adoption of the Fall Department of Local Government Finance Budget Hearing Resolution, wherein the superintendent is given the authority to reduce the levy of any of the school funds that are funded by property taxes. May I have a motion to adopt this resolution?
I'll make that motion.
Motion is made by Mrs. Gunter. May I have a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Mr. Stroud. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 5-0. We will now adopt the agenda for the regular school board meeting. It is recommended that the agenda for the October 20th, 2022 regular meeting be approved as presented with additions, corrections, or deletions as recommended by the board, and there are some late items.
Yes, Madam President, we do have late items. This should be in everyone's packet. Those of you also that came in this evening, under 10-13-14, late items are listed.
Thank you. May I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
I'll make the motion.
Motion is made by Mr. Engel. May I have a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Mr. Hanger. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 5-0. It is recommended that the minutes from the September 8th, 2022 executive session, budget hearing, and regular meeting, and the October 6th, 2022 special budget hearing be approved as presented. Are there any changes or questions on this? May I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make that motion.
Motion is made by Mrs. Gunter. May I have a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Mr. Engel. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 5-0.
Business office recommendations, approval of claims. It is recommended that claim numbers 953 through 1129 be approved as presented.
Are there any questions about these claims?
Mr. Freed, can you please explain to the students that are present tonight what these claims are?
Yes, and thank you students for being here. Everyone came on their own accord, right? It had nothing to do with a class requirement. I'll take that as a no, Mr. Freed. Let's keep this moving. Yes, basically it's just a vendor, for example, if someone is doing a roofing service for us, we are approving the fact that we are paying them for that service. This box, after we're done, if you would like to peruse it, you're more than welcome to. Basically just paying for those services.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
If there are no other questions, may I have a motion to approve the claims?
I'll make the motion.
Motion is made by Mr. Stroud. May I have a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Mrs. Gunter. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 5-0.
Approval of payrolls. It is recommended that regular payrolls for October 28th, 2022 and November 11th, 2022 be approved for payment.
May I have a motion to approve this recommendation?
I'll make that motion.
Motion is made by Mr. Hanger. May I have a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Mr. Engel. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 5-0.
Bank reconciliation. It is recommended that the bank reconciliation from September 30th, 2022 be approved as presented.
May I have a motion to approve the bank reconciliation?
I'll make the motion.
Motion is made by Mrs. Gunter. May I have a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Mr. Stroud. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Are there any presentations? No presentations on tonight. Participation at school board meeting. Public comments on agenda items only, please. You may step to the podium, state your name. You have 3 minutes to comment. Okay, none here.
Personnel, resignation, retirements. Kevin Fessel, 9th grade football coach, effective August 1st, 2022. Bobby Smith, Morgan instructional assistant, effective September 30th, 2022. Kathy Singh, North Harrison elementary teacher, effective September 27th, 2022.
Any comments on this?
I take it these are all resignations, no retirements? Okay, thank you.
That's correct.
May I have a motion to accept the resignations?
I'll make the motion.
Motion made by Mr. Engel. May I have a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Mr. Stroud. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 5-0.
Appointments, Carson Wetzel, North Harrison Elementary, 4th grade teacher, effective September 28, 2022. Elijah Willis, freshman boys basketball coach for the 22-23 season. Ryan Hutchinson, high school boys wrestling coach for the 22-23 season. Andrew Papano, varsity boys swim coach for the 22-23 season. Mary Geltmaker, girls varsity basketball assistant coach for the 22-23 season. Alan Reed, girls JV basketball coach for the 22-23 season. Morgan Roller, volunteer high school girls basketball assistant for the 22-23 season. Morgan Roller, 8th grade girls basketball coach for the 22-23 season. Lori Bailey, choir, piano accompanist for the 22-23 school year. William Davis, high school instructional assistant, effective October 20th, 2022. Kaylee Jones, Morgan Elementary instructional assistant, effective October 17th, 2022. Rick Elder, full-time custodian, effective October 10th, 2022. Steve Roof, 8th grade boys basketball coach for the 22-23 season. Clinton Roof, 8th grade boys volunteer basketball assistant for the 22-23 season. Jeremy Riddle, 7th grade boys basketball coach for the 22-23 season. Item 16 is actually a repeat of item 8, so I'm going to skip that one. It's a duplicate. Item 17, Tim Zogelman, 5th grade boys basketball coach for the 22-23 season. Billy Wilkins, 6th grade boys basketball coach for the 22-23 season. Jackson Emerson, volunteer wrestling coach for the 22-23 season.
Are there any questions or comments on these appointments?
Madam President, could I make a comment just real quickly?
Yes.
First of all, before they vote, I'd like to welcome all the new coaches, because there are quite a few coaches, and even Carson Wetzel, it just seems like he did, just graduated, he's coming back to teach for us. But I really wanted to make a point, you got Barry Geltmaker, Alan Reed, Morgan, those guys have been with the program for a long time. And in this day and age, the requirement and everything that, coaches have to deal with, I think it's pretty amazing that year in and year out, those same folks and they've been with a variety of head coaches as well, but just really appreciate their commitment to our school corporation. We're lucky to have them.
Thank you. May I have a motion to accept these appointments?
I'll make that motion.
Motion is made by Mrs. Gunter. May I have a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Mr. Stroud. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 5-0.
Other items, I just want to remind the group here tonight, we've talked a lot about safety ever since this summer. What the other items is about are general obligation bonds that we are looking at pursuing for our school corporation to provide security upgrades for our district and making our buildings safer, making them more safe, buildings safer and more secure for our students and staff. We have the opportunity to take on some short-term debt in the amount of $600,000 by securing general obligation bonds. This will be paid off in the year 2023, so it's a very short-term debt, and it will also keep the tax rate neutral. So we will not be raising taxes. We have that opportunity to provide much-needed security upgrades. What we're looking at, and obviously there's some security information that I can't share in public, but what we're looking at are keyless entry for all of our buildings, which will get rid of all keys, for everyone, any employee, access card badges. We're also looking at upgrading all of our radio communication, moving from a analog to a digital switch to improve communication, from bus drivers to school resource officers to teachers and administrators, the whole 9 yards. We're also looking at security cameras at buildings, specifically North Harrison Elementary, who is in the first need of those security cameras, along with lighting, just again for safety and security, and also some signage, so when people come into the campus, they know where they're going. So those are some things on the list that we are looking for to be provided with the $600,000 general obligation bond. And again, being able to keep that tax rate neutral by securing those funds for much needed upgrades and improvements. Absolutely.
And also, I know this is something we've been talking about since the start of the year, but we've been able to secure some, we've taken our bids on all of our projects, so we have it all ready to go. At this point, it's just securing the funding and we pay for it, and as soon as that's secured, we'll be able to go ahead and put our project in motion, and it should be completed before the start of the year. We were hopeful that we could have it done before that. It came in a little heavier, a little more costly than what we had originally anticipated, but this is going to give us the ability to have these things done. And I know some of you, he talked about the lighting. If you're out here at night, it's a little bit dangerous. You can't see where you're going to bed. We get to see Saturday morning as we travel to Indianapolis at 5 a.m. trying to load equipment in the car, but you can't see. And when people come to this campus, how many times have you all been asked, where is this or where is that, right? All the time. So we need signs for those things and just for some security measures. So I think it's imperative that we go ahead and we move with this initiative. But that was a great explanation by Mr. Reed. So expanding on it.
Thank you, Dr. Ed.
Thank you. It is recommended that the board approve the following action items related to the 2022 general obligation bonds. Letter A, motion to hold additional appropriation hearing. May I have a motion? Motion is made by Mr. Engel. May I have a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Mrs. Gunter. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Letter B, motion to consider additional appropriation resolution. May I have a motion for this resolution?
I'll make the motion.
Motion is made by Mr. Stroud. May I have a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Mrs. Gunter. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Letter C, motion to consider reimbursement resolution. May I have a motion for this resolution?
I'll make the motion.
Motion is made by Mrs. Gunter. May I have a second? Seconded by Mr. Engel. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Letter D, motion to consider final bond resolution. May I have a motion for this resolution?
I'll make that motion.
Motion is made by Mr. Hanger. May I have a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Mrs. Gunter. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Letter E, motion to consider resolution approving amended and restated post-issuance procedures. May I have a motion to accept letter E? Motion is made by Mr. Engel. May I have a second?
I'll take it.
Seconded by Mr. Hanger. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes 5-0. We are now to discussion items, and we usually start with Mrs. Gunter.
No, it's board member communication. We gotta do the late items.
Yep, let's,
Oh,
you're fine.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's okay.
Thank you very much. Late items, appointments. Mr. Freed.
All right, appointments, late items. Jamie Conley, Morgan Elementary Cafeteria, effective October 20th, 2022. Joyce Taylor, Morgan Elementary Cafeteria, effective October 20th, 2022. Brittany Stowers, 7th grade girls basketball coach for the 22-23 season. Cody Wetzel, 5th grade boys basketball volunteer assistant for the 22-23 season.
May I have a motion to accept these late item appointments?
I'll make the motion.
Motion is made by Mr. Stroud. May I have a second?
I'll second. Go ahead. Oh, I'll second.
Seconded by Mrs. Gunter. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Now we go to board member communication on the back.
I got it all. All right, thank you students for coming tonight. I know it's a government requirement, but it is very interesting too, once you start learning the process. First and foremost, I want to thank Mr. Preet and Dr. Hatton for all their hard work with securing this bond for the security measures. The security measures that we're putting in place is outstanding. I would never, ever vote against security measures for our kids. I know we live in a small rural country, school, and it seems very safe, but as soon as we let our guard down, something ugly can happen. So I appreciate your hard work. It's going to be wonderful for our school. The fall sports are wrapping up their seasons. I want to wish everybody well. I know some sectionals have already been completed. We do have Oxiel Castro's competing cross-country semi-state on Saturday, so I wish him well. And congrats to the band on their competition. They'll be performing in the state finals Thursday. Yep, thank you very much. I know.
Every time. Yeah, every time. Just to add a couple things to what Mrs. Gunter said, safety and security, obviously a must. I understand the debt part of it, but I feel like it's money well spent, and it's money that's going to be paid back soon. So that's super good right there. A couple questions and concerns about the upcoming season. You guys probably know that wintertime's coming. I know in the past we've had a couple hiccups on school closings and things like that. I trust that you guys have got all that covered, got a plan for it, where we know what's going on. Snow removal equipment, trade, rock and roll, all that good stuff's ready.
Actually had some snow this week.
Actually, we did.
Snow in October doesn't bode very well.
I was getting ready to say cha-ching.
I will
and
tell
then
you,
quit
Mr.
snowing.
Stroud, we will definitely, moving forward, we're always going to err on the side of caution.
I appreciate that.
Both of us feel strongly in that
Right.
manner, so we're going to definitely err.
100%, we will always err on the
Good
side
deal.
of caution.
Playground equipment, any updates on the elementary school playground? Please tell me something good.
I think we're not having it. I'm just kidding.
Remember, I'm sliding down the slide. I get first
Let's go
dibs.
back to talking about snow.
Uh,
I do not have any current update besides the last one of the December date.
I know this is an issue that should have been taken care of long ago. Just please assure me that when we do get this in, as well as the other school systems that we do have, let's maintain our equipment, keep it up to date, keep it safe for the kids to play on, please.
100%.
Also to echo what Chrissy said, good luck to the band, good luck to all the fall teams this upcoming weekend, and go Cougars. Mr. Hanger?
Number 72, Nike, have you got a comment you want to make?
Yeah.
I wasn't.
You know,
I wasn't.
playground equipment, to be honest, I was not in this position when that took place. I don't have a great answer besides it needed to be removed and new equipment, based on wear and tear facilities. Dr. Hatton,
It was. I wasn't a major part of that project. Dr. Richards was, but some of it was unsafe. So, for liability purposes, it was removed. Looking back at it, had we known that the other equipment was going to be set out in the middle of the ocean for a period of like 2 years, it's been a long time. We might have come up with a better solution, but that's your answer. It was removed because they felt like it was unsafe. Good question.
All right, well, I guess you guys know that we are having an election coming up next month, and it's vital to us and our school corporation that we're going to be having at least 3 positions filled. And I hope that you guys and your parents and our North Harrison community elect the kind of people that will bring good things and continue the good things that this present board has brought to your school. And I know some of you guys are getting old enough to vote, And it's an important thing. It's an important thing for your parents. My wife and I were discussing this yesterday. You know, you can't really complain about what's going on in school if you don't take part of it. You can't really complain if you don't go out and vote. You know, it doesn't matter what party, Republican, Democrat, Independent. You know, if your feelings need to be known, they need to be known out there in the public, and to help our school corporation. And I would hope to think that in the future that we will still be a nonpartisan board, that we will come in here just for you guys and just for our teachers and our support staff, so that we can continue to have the kind of good school that we have right now. And as many of you know, this is my final swan song with our school board. I have 2 meetings left. I've been on this board for almost 12 and a half years. And it's had its great moments. And it's had some dark moments too. But I wouldn't take anything for those moments. And my successor will come from Spencer Township. And my heart goes out to those who have applied for that job. And I know down the road that we'll continue to have this great school system. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hanger. Thank you, Ms. Gunter, for your comments and always staying on top of things, current events, and acknowledging successes and ongoing things within the corporation. Thank you, Mr. Stroud. I'd like to thank everybody for showing up tonight. Mr. Reed, it's always a pleasure. Good luck to the band this weekend. Football, we drew Southridge. When do we play?
Tomorrow night.
Oh, wow. Okay. Sorry, I've been under a rock for a few days, so good luck to our football program. Very excited about, and I appreciate Dr. Hatton and Mr. Freed's work on this, on security. It's for me, it's not security, it's safety. We want to protect and keep safe everyone that's in these walls within the school corporation. I don't think you put a price tag on it, but evidently the company selling the equipment did, and that's fine. That's fine. I'm so grateful for that. As a parent who had kids come through this school, you know, it brings a load of relief for you students out here. Make your parents feel better at night, I assure you. Thank you all again. Mr. Hanger says since he only has 2 months left, he wants to sign all your papers tonight. Bring him on. Thank you all.
Okay, one of the things I wanted to mention, and I was at the football game last Friday night, and I think that's one of the best high school football games I think I've ever seen. It was really exciting, everybody played well, and the poor little guy at the end when he fell down. But it happens, so. And again, the band going to state, that's a great accomplishment, and we have cross-country runners going farther, and it's just good to read all the good publicity and just the good for the kids out of all this. And now I'm going to turn this over to the superintendent comments.
Would you like to go first, Dr. Haddon? Do you have anything you'd like to say?
You know, not a ton. I've talked quite a bit. Again, I really, really appreciate the board allowing us, affording us the opportunity to do what needs to be done to make our schools safe. You know, they're very difficult decisions to be made when you're dealing with taxpayer money, but we just felt very strongly that this initiative was just imperative, you know, to move our school forward. So I'd really like to thank the board because, you know, I know that you did your research. It wasn't just something that you just said, okay, yeah, you guys go ahead and do that, but I know when it deals with security or Mr. Engel referred to it as safety, the safety of everyone here, not just our students, but our staff and everyone involved. So just can't thank them enough for that. It's going to make this school an even greater place than it is. Just appreciate you affording us that opportunity.
And I would like to echo that again. You know, we spent a lot of time in conversation talking about this opportunity and the reasons for doing this, and just, you know, with that safety and security paramount for all of our kids. Like I said, most of us are parents, and we send our kids to school every day, and the expectation is our kids come home safely every day. And if we can do anything to help ensure that, We are going to always continue to do that. So again, board, I want to thank you for all your valuable input, research, conversations, and dedication to this plan. Also want to thank Dr. Hatton as well. He did a lot of the legwork on meeting with the companies, and I can assure you, Mr. Engel, he did his best trying to get that free tag, but he failed in that regard. But he was doing a lot of the legwork with these companies as they would come in and wanted to make sure we got what was right for our school corporation. Along the same lines, we are happy to announce that I know this summer we talked about a third school resource officer. As of Monday, we were able to get that finally in place. Officer Falkenberg, Cody Falkenberg is with us. When I met Cody, I was like, well, I don't want to see you in a back alley. He's a big dude. Those of you students that have got the chance to meet him, and we're very, very excited for having him and Officer Ruth that joined us this year, and Officer Hutchinson that's been with us for the last couple of years. But those guys, it's not only safety and security that they do, but they build relationships with our kids, with our staff. They know our buildings, they know our people, they know our families. So they're not just an officer, they are definitely a school resource officer. And we are so thankful to have those three guys, and are thankful that we were able to secure our third officer, Officer Falkenberg, that started Monday. I do have some good news. We are becoming a champion partner with Indiana Learns. This is a state grant opportunity, and I'll just kind of give you the nuts and bolts of it if I can. Basically, the state has secured funds to help support the academic recovery for students due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the learning loss, the learning disruption. I'm sure you've all read about that, how negative of an impact that was on students and their education. So if you are a current 4th or 5th grade student and you are qualified for the free and reduced lunch program and you did not pass your English and math iLearn the previous school year, you are eligible, families are eligible to apply for this grant. And basically, when families apply, if you meet that criteria, the state of Indiana is going to give you $500 towards after-school tutoring services to try to help those students get caught up. If a school corporation decides to become a champion partner, which with the support of the board, we have agreed to do that, we will contribute to those families an additional $250, and once that corporation agrees to do that, the state will then kick in an additional $250. So now, when the corporation decides to join that partnership, that grant totals $1,000 of tutoring services for that family and that individual. So a huge, huge undertaking by the state. They're kind of in the early stages of how this is going to roll out. But again, I was proud to announce that we have partnered with this initiative, and as soon as we get more information on how that's going to work and how that will impact our families and the signing up for that, that information will come out. You might actually receive a flyer from the state talking about that, but I just wanted to share that good news for our community. And that is all I have.
Mr. Freed?
Yes, go ahead.
Can you also add that with this tutoring service, we're going to utilize our teachers for after?
Yeah, the plan is, and again, nothing is carved in stone, but the meetings that I've had with the individuals in Indianapolis, we are pretty certain that we will be able to provide those services here on our campuses with our teachers if they're interested in providing those services. So if you have a child that's one of those 4th or 5th grade students and qualifies eligibility-wise, you can stay here after school and we can have one of our own teachers provide those services for your child. So again, some of that's in the early stages, but that is certainly our plan and our intent. And thank you, I forgot to mention that, Ms. Connor. I also just want to congratulate all of our sports teams, all of our extracurriculars, band, you know, it's, you guys, you students, I mean, I had all you students as middle school principal. Just can't say enough how proud we are of our students in this community that we work in and live in. Just congratulations to all those groups as they move forward, and those groups continuing to participate in their sectionals and other competitions. And again, as I'd like to say to every meeting, if you get an opportunity to go out and see whether it's the band or cross country or whatever is your cup of tea, I know that students really appreciate that, and we're very proud of them. So thank you.
It is recommended that the meeting be adjourned at 7:45 p.m. May I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I'll make that motion.
Motion is made by Mr. Stroud. May I have a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Mr. Engel. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great night. Don't forget, Mr. Hanger wants to sign everybody's name.